Hare Krishna, and welcome to Monday's edition of Wisdom Readings. Yeah. Wow. It has been a very great weekend, I think, in terms of information and influx of information coming from most of the classes that happened over the weekend. Yeah. Um, Enjoyed yesterday's session, Sunday inspiration session, with His Grace Bharat Mardanga Prabhu, giving us, the substance of modern science, how much it is full of so many things, probabilities, speculation, fallacies, left, right, and center. Wow. And he just proves it in that class. So if you have time and you really want to get yourself some really, really good truths about what we are surrounded by, we are it's something that you have to check out. So go on to the channel Wusa at Wusa 108 on YouTube, and you will find that class. That was yesterday's class. Getting into today's business. Yes, we are still reading the book Bhakti, which is the well, I lost my notes. Bhakti, which is taken from the Nectar of Devotion, which is the art of eternal love, the name of the book. So it's something that is a very, very good account of, or an introduction to the Nectar of Devotion. Nectar of Devotion is a book that Prabhupada wrote, and this is he actually commented on, and also translated it from Sanskrit for our benefit, giving us also very good purports to that Nectar of Devotion, which is a book that I think we're going to be doing next. And it's going to be done in the form of a class, which is going to be very, very interesting. I can't wait. So yes, what we are reading, which is the art of eternal love, is actually an introduction to that book. So yes, it's another reading. I think we are taking over from Prabhu Bongisipo, who had very, very good accounts yesterday of the chapters that he was reading. And today's chapter is the definition of a pure devotee, which is a very good topic. But before we get into that, we're going to do our invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're going to get in today's chapter, which is the later chapter of the art of eternal love. We're nearing the end of this book, which we started last week. And yeah, it is a very good introduction to the Nectar of Devotion, which is something that was a book that was written by His Grace Rupa Goswami, and it's an account of eternal love and how to show eternal love to the Almighty. So this art of eternal love is actually an introduction, something that prepares us for the big nectar of love and love exchange that can actually happen between an individual who is looking to go back to Godhead, to Krishna. The definition of a pure devotee, as given by Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamarta Sindhu, which is the nectar of devotion, can be summarized thus. His service is favorable and is always in relation to Krishna. In order to keep the purity of such Krishna conscious activities, one must be freed from all material desires and philosophical speculation. Wow. Delve into the class Bharhat Mardanga, His Grace Bharhat Mardanga Prabhu. He will actually break it down. He's breaking it down in terms of the speculation, the realm and the people who live in that realm of science, speculation. Yeah, it's quite a great class, find time and delve into that information. Any desire except for the service of the Lord is called material desire. And philosophical speculation refers to the sort of speculation which ultimately arrives at a conclusion of voidism or impersonalism. This conclusion is useless for a Krishna conscious person. Only rarely by philosophical speculation can one reach the conclusion of worshipping Vasudeva or Krishna. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita itself. The ultimate end of philosophical speculation then must be Krishna, with the understanding that Krishna is everything, the cause of all causes, and that one should therefore surrender unto him. Yes. If this ultimate goal is reached, then philosophical advancement is favorable. But if the conclusion of philosophical speculation is voidism or impersonalism, that is not bhakti. Yes. There was a point that was made yesterday about being biased. I think Savyasachi Prabhu was actually asking about the bias, the science bias, and how proof, how much proof for you to be biased on a set of information. And I like how the whole question concluded with us being Bhagavatam bias. We must we must choose the right source to be biased to. and not created bias. I mean, this is like eye-opening, and it just keeps coming back, to science and how we are being, lied to, had, just being fed this information that is being concocted somewhere, and you just, find yourself in a place where you want to live, but you have no choice. You want to live a free life, but you have no choice, to a certain degree, of what kind of choices you make, what kind of products you take in, it's a whole cobweb, it's one little thing that just ripples into like a big realization about this information, so the bias must be most favorable in terms of for all of us, to actually see progress in our lives. And I think the best bias at this point in time is to be Bhagavatam bias. I second that. Karma or fruitive activities is sometimes understood to consist of ritualistic activities. There are many persons who are very much attracted by the ritualistic activities described in the Vedas. But if one becomes attracted simply to ritualistic activities without understanding Krishna, his activities are unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. Quite clear. Quite clear. Krishna consciousness has its own activities, ritualistic activities, which are favorable to Krishna consciousness. And ritualistic activities that are outside of Krishna consciousness and are done without understanding Krishna are unfavorable. Unfavorable to also. Oh, that's quite something. That's quite something. That's quite something. Yeah. Actually, Krishna consciousness can be based simply on hearing about Krishna, chanting about him, remembering him, etc. The Srimad Bhagavatam describes 9 different processes, besides which everything done is unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. Srila Rupa Goswami has also quoted a definition from the Narada Pancharatra as follows. One should be free from all material designations and by Krishna consciousness must be cleansed of all material contamination. He should be restored to his pure identity in which he engages his senses in the service of the proprietor of the senses. So when our senses are engaged for Krishna, the actual proprietor of the senses, that activity is called devotional service. In our conditioned state, our senses are engaged in serving the bodily demands. When the same senses are engaged in executing the order of Krishna, our activities are called Bhakti. The 9 ways to perform Bhakti in devotion to the Supreme Lord Krishna is one of the points that have been made in this writing, this chapter. We're just going to go through a couple of them. In fact, all 9 of them. Saravanam, hearing about Lord Krishna. These 9 different processes, the first one being hearing about Lord Krishna. This one is referred to Sarvanam. Kirtanam, glorifying Lord Krishna, glorifying him in all ways, through music, through poetry, just glorifying him in every way. You can even do it in action, in doing something for someone to glorify him. Glorify him, you also take care of everyone. That's Kirtanam, that's the second one. And Sarmanam is remembering Lord Krishna, remembering him wherever you are, chanting japa is one way of remembering Krishna, in Lord Krishna, in whatever that you are doing in whatever time of the day. So I think the reason why we chant 16 rounds is because we'll have to find, a way of actually remembering him. It confines us to remembering him at some point, at every point during the day. Pada Sevanam, attending at the feet of Lord Krishna. Attending at the feet of Lord Krishna. I mean, this is the one thing we must always worship Lord Krishna with everything that we do, and also, deity worship, when it's been done in the right way, it's also considered to be very, very empowering and enlightening, and it's what Lord Krishna also gives us mercy in one form or the other in terms of appearance. Archanam, worshipping Lord Krishna. Yes, worship him in everything that you do, and also, worship him in his deity form, which is, also giving you, a perspective, of who you are, who you should expect, I think when I close my eyes at the time of death, I would really would like to know. And having a perception, it's like, conditioning you to be ready, for that time of death. I mean, everybody sings about that time of death. And not a lot of people, are really, really certain of, what's gonna happen really. Who you gonna see? You're gonna see your uncle, you're gonna see who, you know. So I think this deity worship and the appearance of the Lords, it's somehow conditioning to a certain extent, of your journey and what is going to characterize and the vision that's going to characterize your journey. And I think it's quite something, and all of the pictures that I've seen, that are like a representation of Krishna's pastimes, the universe, they are so massive, and when explained, there are planets, it's quite a lot that is happening, but you having a picture of who really is the proprietor gives you like a one step, closer. I feel that that's the one thing that has actually opened my eyes about Krishna consciousness, is like, the the ability to perceive, and it's always like the reason why a lot of people have been speculating, and there's always speculation left, right, and center. Everyone is speculating, is because that perception is really not there of the force that is behind this life that we are living, and I think this is the one perspective that one needs to actually revisit, and actually give into the truth, because the truth sometimes is very hard to accept with regards to hierarchy, the real holy hierarchy, the supreme hierarchy. And Krishna consciousness brings that. Being Bhagavatam bias means that you will get to know the real hierarchy and the real truth. If the Bhagavatam is Krishna, then that means it's the absolute truth. It's nothing else, nothing better. And then number 6 is Vandanam, praying to Lord Krishna by chanting all the time and saying your prayers. It's very important. Yeah. Dashyam, becoming a servitor to Lord Krishna, serving him and making sure that he is sorted, with everything that we do. We do something for him and build temples for him and make sure that there is enough space in your life for him, to be there, you know. And that's one way of serving him and making sure that he's okay, you know. Sakyam, becoming a dear friend to Lord Krishna. I think that's one of the questions that I've received from I think it was Bungisi Prabhu, about if you were to share a pastime with Krishna, what would you aspire to be? Would you wanna be the demon? Or would you wanna be the friend? I mean, and I said I think I chose friend. Being his friend would be the one, aspect of, that pastime of the Lord, if I was to be a part of that. Yeah, and being a friend is, understanding him and knowing him, and relating to him in a way that, you know, you would relate to a true friend. And, the advantage with Lord Krishna, he's a well-wishing friend, I think we all want that. We all love that. And this Sakyam um, way of performing bhakti in devotion to the Supreme is the one that we all need in our lives. We would love to have a well-wishing friend, and he is the one that can be that well-wishing friend. Atma Nevidanam, fully surrendering unto Krishna. Yes, I mean, this is the gist of the chapter. Surrendering, sense gratification. Your senses must be towards Krishna. We must not have senses for anything else but, for bhakti and devotional service to Krishna consciousness. Yes. I think we carry on. I think the next is our activities are called bhakti. Yeah, I think we read that up until there, executing the orders of Krishna. Our activities are called bhakti. Yes. As long as one identifies himself as belonging to a certain family, a certain society, or a certain nation, he is said to be covered with designations. Yeah. Atma Nevi Danam, fully surrendering unto Krishna. If you are covered and you are thinking you're belonging to a certain family, certain society, that is going to be very, very difficult for you, make it very difficult for you to surrender, and actually believe that he is the cause of all causes, When one is fully aware that he does not belong to any family, society, or country, but is eternally related to Krishna, he then realizes that his energy should be employed not in the interest of so-called family, society, or country, but in the interest of Krishna. This is purity of purpose and the platform of pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness. Yes, I think it is well put and well explained. I cannot elaborate further on that. I think I'll be just messing it up, you know. So the 9 ways to perform bhakti in devotionals, in devotion to the Supreme Lord Krishna. The first one is Sarvanam, hearing about Lord Krishna. Kirtanam, glorifying him, Lord Krishna, with everything that you have in terms of energy. Samaranam, remembering Lord Krishna. Pada Sevanam, attending at the feet of Lord Krishna all the time. Archanam, worshipping Lord Krishna. Vandanam, praying to Lord Krishna. Dashyam, becoming a servitor to Lord Krishna. Sakyam, becoming a dear friend to Lord Krishna. Atma Nivadanam, fully surrendering unto Lord Krishna. Thank you very much for joining us today. Hare Krishna, Miguel Lay, Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, His Divine Grace. Thank you very much for inspiration. Greetings from ISKCON, Kansas City in the US. Wow! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This circle is quite big. And yeah, to be a person that is very keen on service, to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, I'm really, really honored. And, uh, yeah, um, yes, to serve. And thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you. Thank you to Savisachi Prabhu for this platform and for making this possible, to give service, on a Monday and share, some of my realizations as well, and how this is something that is an epitome in my realization of the soul and myself within the soul, and myself, the soul. Yes. Yeah. I'm not this body. Love that track. Thank you for today. Please join us again next week. I think we're starting the Nectar of Devotion. It's gonna be nice class I think we're gonna even have exams, we're gonna get to see how we do with that class and Nectar of Devotion, the question paper, how we're gonna fare with all the answers. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, thank you to everyone, and thank you for joining WUSA 108, and yeah, power to WUSA 108. Till next time, I'm Kholofelo Suela. Thank you very much.